So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to create a Forex trading cash money machine. I know it sounds a little cheesy. I didn't know the best title to put that, but we're going to talk about how to simplify your trading. I've been trading for quite a long time. I'll get into my info here in a little bit, but I will tell you that there is a simpler way to trading Forex than most people are showing you. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to get into doing some live charts, and we're going to do a live software demo on something really cool that I've been putting together for the last 2 years on how I've tremendously simplified some of the information I'm putting in here today, plus a whole bunch of stuff, including price action trading, all into a piece of software that's really been helping my team really take our trading to another level. Our gains over the last couple of years have been tremendous, especially the last 6 months since we've really put some really cool upgrades into the software. So we'll get into it. So we're going to show you how to make money in FX without being a pro. I'm not sure how you guys that are Forex traders on here, I know there's options traders and a lot of different types of traders, but for those of you that are trading Forex or options or anything else, I don't know about you, but in the past, when I first got into trading several years into my trading, I literally had an office in my home where I was sitting in front of charts. I had 9 computer monitors going. 2 of them were laptops to trade off of different accounts. And I was living and breathing this thing. I had alarms going off telling me there's a potential trade set up. And I would go through the night sleeping for an hour, hour and a half on this couch in my office at my home, trading all through the night. And as you can imagine, that when you have a wife and kids, that ends up wearing down on you really quick. So I had to figure out that there's a simpler way of trading the markets, and I've been working on that for quite a while. And anybody who knows me, got a company out there, Trade Advisor Pro. We've got 5,000 customers that use our trade signals that they love. So really cool stuff going on. But one thing I wanted you to do, because I've only got approximately less than 40 minutes right now, I want you guys just to write this email address down, support@blackedgefx.com, because once this webinar is done, I don't want you doing it now because I want you to focus on the webinar, but whitelist that, because what I'm going to do is it'll probably be Monday-ish or so. I'm going to put together a very detailed email that's going to have links to all kinds of stuff. Like we've got on our blog, we've got a whole entire system on how to put together a trading plan, including some downloads that you can use to put together your lot calculation sheets and all kinds of cool stuff. We'll send it to you guys for free, just so you can add to what we're giving you today, a bunch of great value. But I'll probably send that out on Monday or so just be looking for that. Again, you just pay attention to this webinar. Just jump into a little bit about who I am. I've been trading for 12 years at this point, and when I first got started in Forex, I basically heard a friend of mine talking about Forex. I had no idea what it was. And he was telling me that, yeah, you get to trade all these different currencies and, you can make 20% per week. And I'm instantly thinking, I'm a math guy. So I pulled out a calculator. I'm thinking, my gosh, I could be a billionaire by the end of the summer. So I'm sure a lot of you were attracted into trading at the very beginning for the potential gains. But once I jumped into it and lost an account and then lost another account and then blew another account, I came to realize that, wow, this is not quite as simple as I thought it was. And Forex trading should be, it can be simple, but it's not necessarily easy. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to simplify that approach. And one thing we're going to get into a little bit is that there's guaranteed that you're going to lose trades, but your goal is to choose the most high probable trades. It's a business of probabilities. So your goal is to use some type of format or system that's helping you choose the highest probability trades, and then you properly manage those trades with good equity management. And if you can do that and be consistent over time, and not be trigger happy, you can be a profitable trader. And I have a lot of friends, including myself, that we do this full time and have gotten a very, very good lifestyle, with this business. It allows us to travel and hang out with our kids and do all kinds of cool stuff and trade on the beach and all kinds of neat little things. So, and as technology is going on, a couple years ago, if you follow any of my training, I always talked about how much I hate software. I've always been a manual trader. I open up charts and I pull off those charts, but technology has advanced tremendously in the last couple of years, and I've learned, my team kind of broke me down about taking my knowledge and skills and how to put that into pieces of technology and software. And I got to be honest with you, the software actually pulls out better trades than I do at this point, because I've been able to take that, I confirm it myself, or my team does, with charts. Anyway, I'm blabbing on. So I've been a full-time trader. I'm a Forex coach and mentor, so I have a lot of clients that we coach through the process. I'm married with 4 great kids, and during that process of me learning how to trade, I did a lot of things right, and I've done a lot of things wrong. So along with the wisdom of experience, I think, is you have to make mistakes. And by making mistakes as a trader, I think you've all been through this. You learn what not to do. Like the time I lost $100,000 in one day because I didn't put a stop loss on a trade and I let it run, thinking that there's no way the trade could go the opposite way. All right, and I took a couple days off and let the trade run, and I ended up getting margined out of an account. So my wife was not real happy about that. And that was not a demo account. So anyway, the cool thing is I've never traded without a stop loss ever since. And so I push my students the same thing. You always use a stop. So I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have been frustrated with your trading. And the reality is it's not your fault. There's a lot of garbage out there. Just get on YouTube and start searching in how to trade Forex. You're going to find 1,000,001 different ways of trading Forex, and not all of them are wrong. But the difficult part is trying to weed through what really works and what really doesn't work. And so I think what I see a lot of people doing is they try one thing, and then a week later they're trying the newest thing, and then a week later they're trying the newest thing. You've got to find one system and process that works and follow that to the T. So what I want you to do is imagine yourself if you finally got your trading simplified, put together, and it was making money. Okay, so that's what we're going to basically show you how to do today. So because we don't have a lot of time, I'm going to share with you one thing. This has probably been, if you've been on YouTube or our website or followed us at all, that the one thing that I push to a lot of my people about a magical little piece of Forex trading that a lot of people do not realize. So I'm going to call this the one secret, okay? And here it is. It's very simple. But the Forex market, and any market usually for that matter, goes into a range 80% of the time. So this is very simple, but I want you to understand this because we're going to go to some live charts and show you how this works. But the market trades in a range, or what I call a channel, 80% of the time. So if you want to simplify your trading and get yourself to the point to where you don't have like tons of different indicators and all of these little things all over your charts, and go to a more simple approach on trading the markets, this is going to be the easiest way, especially if you have jobs, if you're not a full-time trader. This is a great way to trade the markets, looking at more of a long-term approach, where I do what I call set it and forget it trades, okay? I trade a little bit differently now than this, and I'll get into that, how I've advanced this to a whole new level here in just a little bit. But again, the market trades in a range 80% of the time. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. 80% of the time, the market goes through, you got multiple different directions the market can go, right? You can be in an uptrend, you can be in a downtrend, or in a sideways trend. And a lot of traders just tell me that, oh, the market's going sideways, I'm getting stuck, I can't trade, there's no good trades. I'm going to tell you when the market goes sideways is the best time to pull profits out of the market, and I'm going to show you in a little bit on some charts. So let's talk about what this means. Okay, so again, the market trades in a range 80% of the time. I'm going to show you in a minute how to find the range, where to take entries, how do you place your stops, and this can work on monthly, weekly, daily charts. I usually use higher end charts because when you start trading a long-term approach, I like to look a month in advance, a week in advance. Usually over the weekends, I see what the market did last week. I'm looking ahead on the monthly, weekly, and daily charts. I'm looking at where I would be trading the tops and bottoms of these ranges. On Sunday when the market opens, I set my trades and I let them run. And then I manage those trades once they hit. I might have 26 different orders, 30 different orders pending and waiting, but I only may get 5 trades. 2 of them may lose, 3 of them may win, but those 3 winners end up doing extremely well. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then we're going to show you how I've taken over the last 2 years and developed this into a piece of software that has simplified this down tremendously. So let's jump in to some live charts. All right, hope everybody can still see my stuff. All right, so here we are looking at a euro pound daily chart. So we've got basically just a daily chart on the euro pound. Okay, so here's what we're talking about on trading these ranges. Simple support and resistance. I'm sure you guys understand support and resistance. We're looking for what I call key levels, areas where the market continues to hit and bounce. So it's very easy to see one right here, like in this little area here. Let's zoom this in. It's very easy to lay out where the market seems to hit a lot. So right here around this 0.7378-ish range, obviously I just clicked it, but you can see that the market has a good level of resistance here, right? Every time the market hits, we get in a bounce, we're getting a bounce, okay? So I would call this a top of a range. And then we have right in here, you can see where the market tends to hit and bounce a lot. Now, sometimes it breaks through, so we're going to talk about giving breathing room on your stops. I usually use bigger stops when I'm trading the weekly, daily, or monthly charts. But with those, I'm looking for longer runs, like 3, 5, 6, 7, 800 pips on some of these runs. All right, so let's zoom this chart down a little bit. Now you can see a little bit clearer picture. Now, do you see how the market is long-term is going sideways, right? But it is range, what I call range bound. It is hitting you can see a very definite level of support, a definite level of resistance. Yes, it broke through a few times, probably could have been stopped, could have potentially been stopped, unless you put a pretty hefty stop in there. That's a pretty big stop. That's a 125 pip stop you'd need. But here's how I usually do it in this when I trade these ranges. So I'm looking in advance some of these levels, and you can also see here we've got a smaller support level in here, kind of a smaller range within a range. I would be a little bit more cautious about that because I know that price is going to have a tendency to push back down to this 70.86 mark. Let's delete that one. And so when market starts going sideways in here, and it's been going sideways like this for a while, I am looking for opportunities to buy and sell on the tops and bottoms of the ranges. So let's zoom that in again. Nope, we don't want that. Give me just a second. All right, let's zoom this in. Okay, so when I'm trading like this, I've seen for a period that this market has gone in this sideways channel for quite a while. What I usually do is look for opportunities to sell. So I usually place a sell opportunity in advance right up in here and around the 73, 78, 73, and I usually do a few pips within, because when you start looking at right here where the market barely hit and bounced, you got to think about spread on your brokerage platform. Okay, so you might want to add 5, 6, 7 pips in. So if it's at 73, 78, you might want to sell at 73.82. I'm sorry, 73.72. So I put a sell here, and I'll usually put a 60, 70 pip stop. I usually give it some good gap, enough to let the market breathe. Here, the market just blew through and very quickly, especially when you see this wick, quickly rejected, okay? So I don't expect that thing to keep going through that and rejecting that hard. We know that this resistance level was something it did not like going through, and so I might place a stop right a bit in this range here above this swing high right here, even though it could potentially go here. This is too high of a stop. For my blood. Even though, like on the pounds New Zealand, I'll put 125 pip stops because I might get 600, 700, 800 pips on a run. So you sell the tops of these ranges. At the same time, I will put a buy order to buy right down at the bottom here. Put a nice stop down below this recent swing. All right, so right there we're looking at probably an 80 pip stop. So probably an 80 pip stop both ways ish, somewhere in that range. Actually, this is, yeah, that's only a 40 pip stop, so that's not that bad. So by seeing that, you can trade the tops and bottoms of these ranges, and there's been times, and I'll go back in some charts here in a minute, where I'll show you back in 2012 as an example in the spring that on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, my Pro Signals direct customers, we nailed over 2,000 pips for the month in profit. In the positive. So, and that was mostly from the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, some other trades in there as well, but New Zealand dollar, US dollar just went majorly range bound on a very tight range and stayed there for about a month and a half, and we just sold the tops and bought the bottoms for weeks and weeks in a row. So that's what happens when the market goes sideways. So let's look at it when the market, zoom this back out, is kind of in a trending channel. All right, so even though we've kind of got a sideways channel here, let me try to draw this out. I wouldn't, yeah, that's it. that's more of a sideways channel as well. You can see what it would look like. I'm just drawing this out live. You can kind of draw a trend line down a little bit. We can see where price seems to historically hit a top and a bottom. All right, so this is a good example. Let's zoom in here. I want to show you this. Scroll back here. All right, that's probably zoomed in a little too much. Actually, that'll work. I would have pulled this up a little bit more because that closer to the bottom here is where we're seeing some solid hits. Okay, so now you can see that even down in a downtrending market, all right, because it never goes straight down, it goes up and down. You get pullbacks. You want to sell on downtrend. You want to sell on the uptrend, on the upticks, usually. But in this case, you can actually trade the range. Now, you got to make sure that this thing went range bound for a little while. But you can see it's this resistance level at the top of this trend has been very solid. So I would have been setting buy orders all the way, sell orders all the way down here with pretty tight stops. You would have had several nice little trades, would have been stopped out there, but if you keep a tight stop, 40 pips, 50 pips, wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But the move on these, like when you sold here at 150, you would have closed this out right there. You would have gotten 175 pips, of which I then would have turned around and bought immediately, had a nice tight stop. We've got some. So here's how you manage a trade once you're in one of these trades. And this is one thing I believe very, very quickly. You need to get yourself to a position to where you are locking any possibility of loss out of the trade as fast as possible. All right, so let's say you take a trade right here at the top and the market started moving down. It may move 50, 60 pips. I usually at that time will close out, depending on how long I think the move is going to go. If I'm looking at like the pound New Zealand, I'm expecting a 400 pip move, I might wait until the market moves 100, 125 pips. And at that point, I will close out 25 to 50% of my trade. So let's say you're trading 10 lots, all right? So if you're trading 10 lots, I might close out 5 lots. Boom, I just made a nice little profit, right? Then instantly move my stop to my break even, or even a few pips in the money. So if it stopped out, what happens at that point? So if it's at the point where I set my stop at break even or at the money, what happens is I'm locking up that trade. So if all of a sudden the price shot back up, market news happens, something happens like that, market explodes. So now the price shoots back up and hits my stop. What happened? I already closed out half the trade, maybe 25%, but usually close to half. So I got half the trade out and made a nice profit. Now the rest of the trade closes at break even. You reduce your risk. You cut your risk out of the trade, guaranteeing that you made that trade in profit, right? Now I would have done the same thing here. As soon as that thing got up 50, 60, 70 pips, I closed out 50% of the trade, moved my stop to break even, and as soon as it got back down here, it closed out the rest of the trade because it never quite hit. Now once I got into this level, right, I ended up closing that trade out in profit. So I'm looking at time, guys. Wow, this 45 minutes is not, like, I got so much to go over. I'm just kind of rushing. I apologize if I'm rushing through this, folks. That's why it's important that check your email in a couple of days when I send that to you. I'm going to send you, I got tons of training videos where I dig into this whole range trading thing that I'll give you guys. All right, I want to show you guys the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. And this is something that happened in 2012. And this was a really fun time in the market. And New Zealand dollar, US dollar is, except for the last 4 or 5 months, is not been my favorite pair. Pound New Zealand is my favorite pair, but this pair, for the most part, is a really range-bound trading pair. So I'm going to dig back into spring of 2012. All right, let me open that up further. Let's zoom this in a little bit more. All right, so let's take this section right here. All right, I'm going to show you what happened. That's too tight. Let me zoom that back out a little bit. All right, this is easier to see. Stop it. All right. So here we are. This started somewhere in February of 2012, and then it started going range bound. It broke out of a range, then went into a whole new range. And I'm going to show you the beauty of trading these ranges and show you how powerful this is. So we went up, we had a huge uptrend, and what happens after a long, long uptrend, the market's going to stall out. It can't go on forever. The market eventually is going to stall out. Now, it may continue up, all right? On a long term, you'd have to look at the weekly, the yearly charts, longer term charts to see where this pair's been and what it could potentially do. But usually on a nice uptick, it's got to rest for a little while. The market's got to take a little bit of breather. So I knew once we hit up here and we started seeing some bounce, and these wicks started getting a little bit bigger, that the market was getting a little bit uncertain. So here's what I saw. I saw that the market started going into a sideways channel, right? Right like this, and I'll kind of draw this little channel out. All right, so you can see how it started going range bound. So here's what ended up happening. Once we hit here and hit here, I started seeing this little pattern that the market went sideways. I started placing, I think it was right around here, I went ahead and placed a sell at this swing high and a buy at the swing low. So here's what happened. The market went up, and of course I had a nice stop. I usually keep a pretty good stop, especially when you're taking longer term trades, because a good news announcement like this day here, this was right, boom, market shoots up and pulls back in, but you can get yourself stopped out really quick. So you want to kind of protect that. So a lot of times I like to use 50, 60, 70 pip stop on these. So I put a sell position here, gave it some nice breathing room. We put in a nice stop up here, 50, 60 pip stop. And that day the market came down. Once it got halfway down through that, in the middle of that range, I closed 50% of the trade, moved the stop to break even. The very next day, it drove down, hit my take profit level, which is right above here, right? Because if I have a buy position set for 82.63, I want to be closing out the trade before that, 5 pips before that. So I already had. So as soon as it hit here, the rest of the trade hit, closed out the remainder of the trade. Within a minute, boom, hit the rest of it. The trade went long. Once it got halfway back up to the middle of this range, I closed out 50% of the position and moved the stop back to break even. Now, day 3, the market moved up a lot more, close to my range now, but this time I already have a sell already waiting, right? I'm going to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy until I get stopped out. Okay, all right? So it hit here, and I closed out the rest of the position, went for a sell. A couple days later, the market went back down halfway, or the next day, I closed out 50% of the position again. By this time, since this buy trade already closed, I already had another buy ready to rock and roll. It came down, closed out the rest of that first trade, hit my next trade, and on and on and on. Do you see that? You can just buy the tops and bottoms of these trades. Now, if you look here, even this uptrend, if you draw out trend lines, you can see there is a small range. Let's draw that out real quick. And I'm just pulling this out as we're going. Right? That's very tight. Now, I'm not saying this is that would have been a perfect opportunity to trade, but you can see even in a market where the market's booming, that there's tops and bottoms of these ranges that are opportunities to take trades. And sometimes they don't get taken. Like a lot of times, I might have 25 or more trades set up in advance, but the market would have to move pretty strong to hit the top and bottom of that range. So sometimes I'm just waiting. So here's what happened on this day. The market broke through, stopped me out, first stop out. Actually, I think I got stopped out on this one too, and then because the wick rejected so strong, I went ahead and taken another sell and took it, and I got another great trade. But here, I closed out that trade, but I had a buy here, right? It broke right through. But, so I gave it a few days, and you can see after about a week, my gosh, this thing started going into another range. So what happens to support and resistance? You guys understand that? We've got some training. I'll send you some training on that too. But once, with support and resistance, your old support, once it broke through, your old support becomes new resistance. You see how that was the floor? Once it broke through, that now becomes your ceiling. And what I did was over and over again, I went through and I took tons of trades off here, buying the tops and bottoms. These did not get stopped out because of right where they're at. My stop was actually below that. I did get stopped on this one. I think I tried to really tighten up that stop and see if I could do a real tight one, like 30-something pips, and yeah, that one stopped out. But I continued trading it. But you can see here, I had winning trade. I didn't start trading that until here. I had to make sure that this thing started going into a new range. But you can see that there was a lot of tops and bottoms that you could just sit there and trade. This is easy, guys. This is a 10-year-old could visually just lay this out and look for opportunities. Super, super simple way to approach the market. So let's scroll in here. You can see, you can draw that out here and see tops and bottoms of ranges. Tops and bottoms, let's scroll this back out. Oh, let's look down here. So now let's go back into later 2010, 2012. You can see that this old range happened again. Those old support levels were still strong. Even though we had some market chop in here, once it broke through, there was opportunity in there from that old range. And you'll see a lot of times an old range will continue. Well, later down the road, could be years later, that old range will continue to show up, give opportunity. So anyway, that's that. Let me show you here. Okay, I want to draw this out. I'm just looking at this live and see what we got. So even here on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, right? You can see how the market was in a was range bound. Opportunity to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. It would have been choppy here. I would have already closed out that trade, but I already had a sell position. Here I would have sold, 50% would have been closed. It would have stopped me out on the rest of the trade. It would have taken another sell. Because as soon as that trade hits, I've already set up the next buy and sell, right? So we got stopped out here and eventually went, tried to go back into the range, actually started a whole different range. So that's it, guys. This is just a way of looking at the charts. I usually focus on the monthly, weekly, and daily charts when you're trading like this, because when you can do this, you can start taking a lot of this info and you can find really, really easy to trade, easy to trade setups. And pound New Zealand is a pair. I'm not sure if you guys like to trade that, but that pair is that's a market moving machine, man. But that thing is, I've probably made more money off the pound New Zealand than any other pair out there. Once that thing goes range bound, it really moves. So let's go back to my slides. And I'm running out of time, so I'm going to book through this. Okay. And again, guys, that was really fast. That was like way too fast. However, if you, again, whitelist that email address, I'll send you more stuff. I got tons of training videos on YouTube. I'll show you guys a whole bunch of this stuff that goes a lot slower and more in depth. So Forex trading should be super, super simple, folks. So here's what I've been doing. You know, we just looked at some charts like this. A lot of you guys have charts looking like this. This is where we come back to the stress of trading because you're trying to trade too many crazy things. What if I could show you how to simplify your trading all the way down to something that looks like this? And what I've done is I've developed a piece of software. Since 2013, we started taking this range trading process of trading the tops and bottoms of ranges, along with what I see is really, I think, one of the coolest ways to trade the markets, which is using price action. Like when trading price action is a little bit different than trading the ranges. Price action is what's happening in the market right now. So here's what I want to do. I want to take you through a software that we've just actually released. Actually, it's not released to the public yet. It's been released first to a lot of my VIP clients, and they've been using it for quite a while and doing very, very well. And then we're just now rolling it out to private, a little bit more private people, like on this webinar, and a lot of our internal clients before we actually release it to the public. But it's been something we've been working on for almost 2 years, and I want to get into a demo of Black Edge. So Black Edge, I'm actually going to open up. I set up this Forex.com demo account because this is not my trading computer. This is actually a laptop that I'm using to do this webinar. So here's how this works. I'm going to show you how super, super simple I've been able to take how to trade the tops and bottoms of these ranges. And by the way, those ranges can be what you call fractal ranges as well, which means on a 10-minute chart or 15-minute chart, 30-minute, 1 hour, there are many ranges the markets go into. You can do the same thing on what I call fractal ranges. And so this system uses the long-term and fractal ranges and combines price action based on volume in the market. What's the market doing instantly now to pull out trade opportunities? So my goal was to simplify my trading, spend less time in front of the charts. And so what I do is I could set up a brand new chart here. Let's do the Euro USD. I'm going to do this very, very quick. First thing I'm going to do is change it to a candlestick, change it to a 1-minute chart. Now we are not trading 1-minute charts, but this chart is basically used only for data. So I'm going to pull over this, what's called Wrinkle Charts 1. I'm going to set my Wrinkle time to 11. That's more of an intraday trading type of style. All right, and I'm going to hold the home button for a second just to make sure I've got a good couple months worth of data. Now, we're not going to trade this chart. This chart is all for data purposes only. And the real chart we're going to trade is now what's called an MT4 offline chart. So we're going to open up offline. I'm going to see there's a Euro USD M2 chart. We're going to open that M2 chart, trade this to candlesticks. Zooming in, you can see now we have what's called a Wrinkle chart. So here's what the wrinkle, we're not done, we're still going to add one piece. So on these Wrinkle charts, you can see that these candlesticks, very, very clean. So on a traditional time chart, you've got like daily charts, each candle is a day. Remember we set the Wrinkle time to 11? Each one of these candles now represents 11 pips. So what you're doing now is you're finding those ranges, okay, that's what we're going to talk about, but we're using pure price action, actual what's happening in the market now to help us determine trade opportunities. So we right click and we open up template, Black Edge FX, just popping up some trades, and voila, and here's what we've got, a piece of software called Black Edge. So let's go through and show you, here's some of the trades. So what happens, Black Edge popped up and said we have a trade. It gets confirmation of the trade because we've gotten several bars in where the market has continued moving. So we're getting confirmation. It pops up and tells me to, actually I got this set to pop up to my phone. It tells me to take a buy here. I'm placing my stop here. Once the trade gets up 2 to 1, I close 50% of my trade, move my stop to break even. And this trade ended up getting, I don't think, almost 5 to 1. So we had one huge winning trade here. Got in a nice trade here. I closed it when the market reversed. That trade stopped out. That trade closed at break even right in here. Profitable trade there, profitable trade there, profitable trade there. And then when the market went into a market chop, I didn't take any of these trades. I actually took this one, closed it right at around break even. The market went to a chop the last couple of days last week, and so I did not take those trades because I looked at my long-term trades and long-term charts, my daily charts and 4-hour, and realized the market was just going through market chop. So I didn't take those trades. So that's just a quick overview, but how we have been able to take trading market ranges along with using pure price action and developed it into a piece of software that really pulls out some excellent winning trades. Really cool indicator here. This is a secret indicator only my pro members get that helps this thing tighten down even more to get some great trades. So let's get into, I'm going to basically give you guys a chance to get your hands on Black Edge, and I know we don't have a ton of time, so if you've got more questions, you guys can email support@blackedgefx.com, and we'll send you some more information in the email. But so here's a question I want to ask you guys. What if there was a piece of software that could absolutely simplify your trading down? Oops, I got it all the way down there, wrong button. And that could really simplify your trading. And so I want to take you through, I'm going to give you a chance to get your hands on Black Edge. So here's what I want to give you today here. So we're going to make this really, really powerful because we love the guys over at Market Traders, and Reed's been great with us. And so we want to make sure we give you guys some great value. So I'm going to upgrade you from Black Edge FX to Black Edge Pro as a $29.97 value. And we are also going to give you that secret indicator that we put in there. Our VIP customers that are paying for coaching have paid $997 for that indicator. That's going to be thrown in there as well. Again, the secret indicator was that little thing right there. And what that does, I can explain. It's very proprietary. It's something we've been developing for longer than 2 years, and we kind of added it, and it mixed very well with Black Edge. But this really helps this Black Edge Pro software pull out the highest probability trades you can possibly get. And this thing has a pretty close to an 80% win rate, and the average win to loss ratio is the risk to reward is 2.7. So your average trade is getting 2.7 to 1. So your winners are way bigger than your losers, so it's a pretty good machine. Plus, we're going to throw in another bonus. I'm going to throw in the Black Edge FX Pro template, which helps you simplify, and instead of you having to set up your templates one at a time, you can click and drag and the template's all built out and completed for you. And I'm going to throw you in, I've got a service with a company called Trade Advisor Pro that I run. I'm going to give you, I send my personal trades out to my clients twice a day. Like we're going to retell you exactly where to buy, where to place your stops, where the take profit levels are. I'm going to give you 30 days of my personal trades, which is $97 a month, absolutely in part of this package. So far we're at a $4,188 value, folks. I'm also going to throw in my complete FX course. I got an entire course that teaches you all the ins and outs of how to trade the markets. So that's a $997 value. I'm also going to throw in my FX range trading course. We just talked about trading the market ranges. That sells for $297. I got a fully detailed course that teaches you how to do that. We're going to throw that all in there. So far, we're throwing in a bunch of goodies that are a $5,482 value. I'm going to throw you in one more thing, though, and this is important. I think a lot of traders out there struggling, they need something to kind of supercharge and kind of get them on the quick path. So we do, for normally it's about $2,000. You get on the phone, you do a consult with my FX team. It's usually 4 to 5 phone calls where we're finding out where your weaknesses are in your trading, and we start coaching you through on what you need to do to get it profitable very, very quickly, okay? Tony Robbins talks about, success leaves clues. It means if you want to learn how to be a great trader, or whatever you want to be great at, you find somebody who's already doing it and get them to help you simplify and give you the shortcut to get there. So we're going to give you that all included in here today. The total value of everything I'm going to throw in here, folks, is $7,479. A ton of stuff, folks, if you want to learn how to trade. And the cool thing is, guys, you get a money back guarantee, but we're not charging you $74.79. We're actually going to release this to the public in 6 weeks. Right now, it's only for my Trade Advisor Pro customers and our VIP customers. They've been paying $2,997. We got hundreds of people using the software that have been very, very successful with it. We've actually had a lot of our VIP clients using this, testing it, tweaking it. We've been going back, tell us what we're going to do to make it better, to make this software just a supreme trading monster, okay? It literally just popped. Yesterday, it sent me 18 trade setups to my cell phone. So it really works. So we're not going to offer you that. We're actually doing a webinar special today, folks. You get the whole thing, all of it, what we just included in there for $997. One time, lifetime, includes all the upgrades. If you want to break it up, we also have an installment plan. It's 4 payments at $297. You pay almost an extra $200 more if you don't want to pay it up front, but you save yourself a little bit of money by doing it that way. All you have to do is go to blackedgefx.com/MT, and that will take you straight to a page that looks like this. And basically, once you're here, you're going to choose your subscription plan. On the left, you choose the $997. You save about 20% if you do it that way, or you can do the 4 installments. Again, it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. We don't get a lot of cancellations because the software works that good. But if it's not working for you, we'll part ways friends, and our customer support team will take care of you immediately. So again, we're going to throw in the Black Edge Pro upgrade, the secret indicator, the Black Edge template, 30 days of my personal trades, my complete FX course, my FX range trading course, which is super powerful, and you consult with my team anywhere from 4 or 5. If we need to go 6 phone calls, we will, to have my team work you through on how to improve your trading. Huge value. Just go to blackedgefx.com/MT, and you can get set up, and we'll get you all set up and ready to rock and roll on that. I want to take you through, in fact, before I take you through the members area, let me pop in, I had this link here. Let me pop it in so everybody can click it. I think it'll make it a lot easier. And how we do it on time? Okay, we're about out. All right, where is the questions? Okay, I guess I popped this in the questions. I got a question here. Will this work with NinjaTrader? This doesn't. This is the MetaTrader only. However, I do have. We do have a piece of software that's similar. It's a scalping software that works with NinjaTrader. If you'll email us, my support team can send you out a demo on that. It's a really good piece of software that we use on NinjaTrader. Let's see here. I don't really know, folks, where to put the. Oh, it's in the chat. There we go. It's in the chat. There we go. I just popped up the link. It's saying it's going, okay, the entire audience. Let's make sure we do that right. Technology is fun, folks. All right, there's the link, blackedgefx.com/MT. And we have a very in-depth webinar where we go into a lot more in-depth of how the software works. If you guys want to see more on it, we can send you that link as well. I know we're going to go in very, very fast, trying to put this together as quick as possible for you guys. Let's go back to the slides. I want to show you in the members area what's going to happen. So once you sign up, once you purchase, it's going to take you to a page to enter your email address, a username, and a password for your members area. Then after that, you'll go through a checkout. After that, you'll fill out the rest of your information, and you're going to go through and the installation guide. We actually changed this members area a couple days ago, so it's going to be a little bit different than this, but it's pretty similar. You can download the software. You are going to, it's going to have information here about how to activate. So you get your activation code and pop that into your software. And then you'll scroll down a little bit here, and it's going to take you through a quick installation course. It's super short, it's about 15 minutes. It's going to show you how BlackEdge is super, super easy to install, and then we take you through a training video that shows you how to use it. And it shows you multiple different ways of how to, once the trade is in profit, a couple different ways based on how much you want to be in front of your computer, on where to start closing out profits, and where you want to start moving your stop. So there's one way, once the trade's up 1-to-1, you can close out a percentage, then move your stop. Some people like to just let it hit the next, they're just selling on this down push and then closing that trade out when it gives them a new signal to buy, and then they turn around and take a buy. So you can do either way depending on what you like to do. A couple testimonials from a couple clients that have been using these, a couple of my VIP customers. So hey, everybody, I want to say thanks for the support on getting BlackEdge set up. Sorry if that was a pain, newbie, haha. I've made 84% in the last, I don't know, I think it was like 4 months. I guess 3 months ago, I guess it would have been 3 months ago. So in 3 months, he made 84%. Matt did, since I started trading with it a little over 3 months ago. Love this. Stephanie B from UK said, so thank you for you to Josh for BE. It's BlackEdge. I've been a trader for 3 years. The first time I've actually made a profit. Software is very easy to use and very accurate. You're on my Christmas card list for life. So anyway, folks, it really works. If you want to give it a shot, we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. You got nothing to lose. Just give it a shot, and we get all my support team will make sure you get connected into the members area and username passwords to get all the goodies here. If you decide to try BlackEdge today and you don't want to, and you decide it's not for you, you get to keep bonus number 3, 4, and 5. Obviously, the first ones are pieces of the software, so that'll be deactivated. But number 3, 4, and 5, you got to keep anyway. You get those range trading courses, and I'll give you 30 days of my trades just for trying out BlackEdge. Again, blackedgefx.com/MT. Folks, it looks like I'm not going to have time for questions and answers, so I apologize. But if you'll send us an email, support@blackedgefx.com, we can answer anything. And we will be sending out an email with a whole bunch of goodies for you guys and more training. And we'll send you a link also where we do a lot deeper in-depth run through on the BlackEdge software. So you can, and then that'll give you a lot more detail on how it works.